Hey, what's going on, guys? So this is kind of a bit of a late video, but I just wanted to talk about what happened a couple of days ago and why you need to be careful with public activity in general. So I know a lot of you guys are thinking, so why do we need to be careful when we're out in public? Or maybe, why we need to be careful with public encounters? Well, because some really crazy things can happen to you. Like, it's no joke either. So, a couple of days ago, I was out I was out of college, at least for the day. So, then then when I got out of college, I start looking for a good route to the Valley Metro Lost and Found Center because I lost my face shield, in which I need that for college on Mondays and Wednesdays typically. However, I didn't need it during that very Friday because it's just simple introductory. So, on Southern and Rio Salado Parkway, I'm at this bus stop by a McDonald's and I believe a Jack in the Box. And there's this really crazy guy who happens to be at this very bus stop. And he's asking me, "Hey, when's this bus supposed to be here?" So knowing myself, I pull out my phone and I look, and the phone tells me that it's supposed to be at the stop within the next hour. Turns out that wasn't actually true. The bus was actually late. So I tell him the time that the phone gave me, which was within the next hour. Then he says, "Let's go walk to the next stop, you and me." I'm like, "Dude." In my mind, I'm like, "Dude, are you serious?" No, absolutely not. I will wait for this bus for however long it takes. In fact, I should be getting lunch at this given moment. But of course, I didn't have lunch at either the McDonald's or the Jack in the Box. I knew the bus was running late. So the guy goes off on his way to the next stop. So I'm sitting at the stop and I'm just rambling to myself. Man, people these days. But of course, that doesn't necessarily mean that all people are crazy. You'll find some really neat people, especially the police. Anyway, getting back on topic. So, about 5 or 10 minutes later, the bus shows up. So naturally, I get on, I swipe my bus pass, and then anyone else at the stop who wanted to come on got on and swiped their passes, or paid for the ride. And then, next stop later, the bus picks up that guy. And that guy, of course, gets on the bus. Now, nothing with him seemed necessarily suspicious, at least until a few minutes later, when I finally made it to the Valley Metro Lost and Found Center. Now, there was, of course, another Valley Metro personnel who was riding on the bus, too. And so, him and I get off, I stop him. I ask, "Hey, since you're part of Valley Metro, where would I find the Lost and Found Center?" And of course, he says, "Oh, I'm about to go there right now, but of course, I'm going to be jaywalking." Now, that being a bit of a minor crime on its own, or at least I don't think it's a crime, or any given offense, it's just very dangerous, as I went ahead and followed him, because I had no idea where I was at the time. So, I go into the Lost and Found Center, and I pick up my face shield. Finally. I was so happy to have it back. So I sign the paperwork that says I've come and retrieved the face shield, and then, when I come out, believe it or not, this guy was trailing right behind me, and he is bugging some other bus driver. And the bus wasn't going the right way that I needed to go. I needed to go up to Scottsdale. So he finally lets this bus driver go, and then goes back to this other bus stop, in which is the one that I need to be at. I'm just like, oh my god, please let this nightmare end. So he's there, and so I end up right there. And then he asks, and of course my phone died at this time. So, he asks me, "Hey, what time is it?" Or, "Hey, does this bus go to this place?" I tell him, "You're asking me the wrong questions. My phone is dead." And then, this got me the most. Here's why I'm irritated. Here's why I sound irritated. Of course, I was very irritated at this time, if I didn't mention that already. But, of course, I'm sure that would be the reason why I'm sharing this story anyway. So here's why I'm irritated. This guy offers me a bottle of Fireball. And in my mind, I'm like, dude, I seriously, I'm not of the legal age to drink, and I probably will not be drinking for as long as I live. Maybe once, but at a legal property. But however, I probably will not be drinking for as long as I live. Now, of course, I didn't tell him this. Instead, I just politely passed and I said, no thank you, I don't drink. He said, okay. So he puts it in his jacket pocket. And this is why I'm irritated. The bus shows up. The driver opens the door. The fare machine is completely disabled. And I mean, it is not working in the slightest. I mean, no computer, no LCD display, nothing. The fare machine was completely disabled. So I wait for him to... And so, little did I realize, this is why I'm irritated, this guy, with his bottle of Fireball, gets on the bus, no problem. And so I wait for him to take his seat. He sat in the back of the bus. So I'm up here, and then thinking to be the good Samaritan that I wanted to be, I report this to the driver, as quietly as I could, at least without this guy hearing it. But this is why I'm irritated. The driver just dismisses my report entirely and just says, I can't hear you. I've tried everything. Face mask down. Face shield hold open. I've tried everything. Nothing would get him to listen. What do I have to do? Shout it across the entire bus? No. When I have a legal discrepancy that I feel needs to be reported, you guys need to listen up. Like, seriously. It's a little disrespectful to not listen to a person trying to report a legal discrepancy that needs to be brought to one's attention. You can kind of see where I'm going with this, right? Anyway, that's not the case. Well, it is, but that's not the point. The point is, the Valley Metro drivers need to listen out for when somebody says, hey, this guy has this, or hey, this guy has that, because it's a federal offense because by state law, it's a federal offense to carry alcohol on public transportation, whether it's open or otherwise. And frankly, the drivers can actually be punished for not catching this or not listening to this. So Valley Metro, if you're watching this video, consider training your drivers to listen to people more often, especially when they have legal discrepancies that need to be reported. Because if you don't listen to this, it can get very irritating. If not, it can get very bad to a legal point where the bus system could be charged for allowing illegal activity on their transportation. But whatever happened, happened. I'm over it. Nothing went wrong. Well, something did go wrong, but it didn't affect me. Now, had the driver listened, and if he said for that guy to get off the bus, I carry an umbrella with me whenever I feel like that it could get ugly out there. And I mean if it could rain, mainly if it could rain. And it was raining at the time, so I had an umbrella on me. So if this guy came after me, I would tell him to back up, and I would tell him that I am armed and I will defend myself. And then any form of assault that I may be charged with may potentially be immediately dropped. And if he doesn't back up, or if he doesn't just leave the bus, I could hit him I could jab him with the butt end of the umbrella to deter him away from me, to try to tell him, hey, it's not a good idea to be coming after me. You should probably back up, or leave the bus. And if that doesn't deter him away, I could hit him against the head and potentially knock him out if need be, if I feel especially threatened by him, and if he continues to fight. And once he's knocked out, I can drag him off the bus and then come back on. That's if the driver understands the reason why I did that. However, that didn't happen. So anyway, enough rambling. I'm just going to leave this at that, and whatever happened, happened. Everything's fine. So anyway, guys, hope you guys are having a great day. and I will see you later. Oh yeah, before I forget, this is also a good time to give out an update as far as why I've been quiet. I'm sure as you know, I'm sure if saying that me needing to go up to Scottsdale didn't give it away, especially college. I'm busy with both college and school. I'm busy with both college and work. I recently got a job all the way up in Scottsdale, and it's quite a drive. But it's worth it. A great simple job, worth a long trip. It's okay with me. So, I won't be posting videos very often at all. However, hopefully you guys understand why this is happening, or at least why I've been so quiet. It's because I'm super busy and I barely have any content. However, hopefully, eventually, I will have more content. So in the meantime, I will see you guys later.